Hey everybody, it's George from DinosaurGeorge.com answering all of the emails that I received from you. If you have a question you'd like to send me about prehistoric life, it doesn't just have to be about dinosaurs. Send it to me. Go to my website, DinosaurGeorge.com. Click on the Ask Dinosaur George page, fill out the form and submit it to me. While you're there, sign up to be a friend on Facebook and also on Twitter if you use those. I always send out really cool information. And Facebook, I have a lot of friends that watch these videos on Facebook, and I really enjoy chatting with you guys. All right, let's get started. Paul from Mandaue City in the Philippines says, "Dear GG, I hope you're in good health." I am, Paul, and I hope you and all of your family and friends are in good health as well. He says, "I have two questions. My first question is, I know your favorite dinosaur is Allosaurus. Thank you for remembering. Who would win in a fight, Allosaurus or Saurophaganax?" Man, this is tough. I'm so biased towards Allosaurus. Even if I have to admit defeat, it's hard for me to do it. But in this case, I gotta admit defeat. Saurophaganax is so much bigger than Allosaurus. Now, I've seen some studies that suggest that Saurophaganax may have simply been a full-size Allosaurus. I've looked at the two. I see enough differences between them. I think they were totally different species. But whatever the case is, Saurophaganax is just too whopping big to be able to lose a battle with my beloved Allosaurus. So in a fight between Allosaurus and Saurophaganax, as long as Allosaurus has 2 or 3 buddies, he would win. Otherwise, I hate to admit it, but Saurophaganax would clean his clock. And that's the scientific term, clean his clock. Yeah, we use that a lot in science. All right, and his second question is, who would win in a fight between Giganotosaurus and Spinosaurus? All right, these guys probably never met. They lived at different times. They really didn't have anything to do with each other. But again, when we're making guesses about these guys, there's nothing wrong with putting two animals from different places together. So let me tell you this. Spinosaurus, in my opinion, was never, ever, ever designed to be a big game hunter, and therefore he wouldn't be a big game fighter. He's really designed, in my opinion, to have the life of catching smaller game or perhaps living on a diet of fish. Giganotosaurus, on the other hand, is a big game hunter. And so a fight between these two would really be unfair. I believe Giganotosaurus would just absolutely clean his clock. Yes, notice how I use those scientific terms again. Paul, thank you for writing to me, and take care, and I hope everything is well in the Philippines. All right, Erin from Township, Pennsylvania. "Did it ever snow when the dinosaurs were alive? And if it did, how did they survive?" Erin, this is a great question. This is really good. Yes, it did snow when there were dinosaurs. We oftentimes think dinosaurs lived in these swampy, muddy, stinky environments, but that's not the case. They lived in a variety of environments, and certainly they would have had to deal with snow. Now, years ago, when paleontologists used to believe that dinosaurs were cold-blooded, slow-moving, dumb reptiles, we thought it impossible that they would be able to survive in colder temperatures. But now all the studies and all the evidence points to these guys probably being more warm-blooded than anything else. And because they were warm-blooded, in my opinion, they had the ability to survive any environment. I don't think they probably enjoyed the snow much. They're not really suited for walking through it. They don't have the right kind of foot design, in my opinion, to really get around so good in snow. So I would guess that they would probably migrate. We don't hear a lot about that, but I absolutely believe dinosaurs were migrating. I would think that they would migrate further towards the south in the coldest part of the winter and then move back up again to take advantage of all the new vegetation that comes after the thaw. But there's been 2 pieces of evidence that I've seen that really amaze me. One suggests that a dinosaur from Australia, its name was Timimus, it suggests that that dinosaur burrowed underground and hibernated. To me, it's fascinating. Now, I have not seen any information for a long time on that, and I don't know if they believe that's still the fact, but that's what I saw, so that's amazing to me. All right. Kyle from Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. Another person from Pennsylvania. "Hi, George. My name is Kyle." Hi, Kyle. How are you? "I live in Stroudsburg, PA. I want to know, did paleontologists ever find other Spinosaurus fossils beside the skull, teeth, and backbones? And who do you think would win in a fight between T-Rex, Giganotus, and Spinosaurus, and then thank you for your time, your friend Kyle. Kyle, first of all, thank you for being so courteous. It is certainly my pleasure to give my time to answer these kind of cool questions. All right, first of all, with Spinosaurus. Yeah, they found a lot more of Spinosaurus than they had found before. For a long time, everything we knew about Spinosaurus was based off of very fragmented evidence. For those of you that are not familiar, the first Spinosaurus skeleton ever discovered was discovered before World War II and was in a museum in Egypt, I believe. And during a bombing run, unfortunately, we blew up the museum and therefore blew up all the fragments of Spinosaurus. So Spinosaurus is the only dinosaur I know of that was discovered, lost, and rediscovered again. So they're just now finding some pieces and they're getting a much clearer idea of what it was. In your scenario between a battle between T-Rex, Giganotus, and Spinosaurus, Spinosaurus is out in the first round. He's had his clock cleaned. He would be out in the first round. That leaves Giganoto and T-Rex. I believe Tyrannosaurus Rex was a much more robust dinosaur than Giganotosaurus. And even though Giganotosaurus is big, I think T-Rex would have ultimately been the conqueror. All right, Anthony from Cranston, Rhode Island. How fast could a full-grown 60-foot male Spinosaurus run? Well, Anthony, first of all, I love Rhode Island. I've been up there a couple of times. I really like it up there. Spinosaurus probably didn't grow to 60 feet, but let's say that he did. Okay, one of the difficulties in being that big would be that your body would have to be incredibly heavy to support, or your bone structure would have to be heavy to support your mass. And heavy bones means slowing down. That's why an elephant doesn't run as fast as a cheetah, basically. So I would have to say that a Spinosaurus of 60 feet long could probably run at about 20 miles an hour. Now, if it was a Spinosaurus of, say, 40 feet and much less, maybe it could run 25, maybe 30 miles an hour. Whatever the case is, I wouldn't want it running behind me. I had a little kid one time ask me, Dinosaur George, how fast was T-Rex? I said, I don't know. Some people think they could run 32 miles an hour. He said, how fast are you? I said, well, if T-Rex is behind me, I would run 33 miles an hour. Don't you love these jokes? Yeah, they're good. All right, this last question comes from Nikola from Novi Sad, Serbia. He says, hello from Southeastern Europe, Dinosaur George. Well, Nikola, hello to you too. He says, I have a question concerning pterosaur wing attachments. Where did those fascinating membranes attach in the larger pterosaurs? I'm not quite sure that they weren't attached to the ankles because it would make the animal clumsy on land and make taking off on the ground a bit difficult. So where did these things attach? To the hips, to the ankles, or maybe the tail? Well, that's a good question, Nikola. Well, let me show you something. This is the skeleton of a medium-sized pterosaur. And the question is, did the wings attach all the way down here to the ankles, where most people believe they attached? Or could they have attached at the knee? Or maybe they attached at the hips? Well, there's a lot of study being done in wind tunnels that's trying to help us understand how these guys' wings attach, because the problem is that in some cases the wing membranes didn't leave a boy, I thought I had another skeleton in there I could show you. The wing membranes don't necessarily leave evidence to show us where, but my best guess is that they probably connected to the hips, or maybe to the knees, and possibly to the ankles. Now, when we talk about how they walk, there's been some new discoveries that show that they walked in a very awkward fashion. They weren't big, long strides. So that suggests to me that indeed they were being attached down here at the ankles, because that was what would give them that awkward gait. It's so difficult to understand because we just don't have any animals like these around anymore. And so it's so difficult to be able to know for certain. Those gigantic wings on some of the giant pterosaurs like Quetzalcoatlus or Pteranodon ingens or Pteranodon sternbergi, those guys got to be so big that they had to have a much more slimline wing, in my opinion, because I just don't think they would have been capable of being able to fly. They would have been so slow and awkward, and I think they needed to be able to maneuver. So anyway, well, listen, the answer, unfortunately, is I just don't know for certain what the answer is. Hopefully, some new discoveries will tell us in the future. All right, you guys, listen, it is so good talking to you all again. I appreciate getting these emails from all over the world. If you have a question, go to my website. While you're there, sign up on Facebook or sign up on Twitter or sign up for our free monthly newsletter, and you can do all that on the website. So until next time, happy holidays to you all, and I will talk to you guys soon. I'll see you.